News on this Thursday morning, the Western Cape High Court will hear an urgent interdict by AfriForum, who wants to stop the parliamentary process that will allow for expropriation of land without compensation. AfriForum says the Constitutional Review Committee's report is flawed, and they say the report failed to consider hundreds of thousands of written submissions. Earlier this month, the Parliamentary Committee adopted a resolution recommending the amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution. Well, joining us now from Cape Town is Christine Botha from the Centre for Constitutional Rights, just to help us explore, if at all, AfriForum have got some good legal grounds. Christine, good morning, and thank you very much. Besides saying that the report is flawed, AfriForum also says the public participation process was inadequate. Do you think they stand a chance?
Well, Dan, I think it's important to first take a step back and see exactly what AfriForum is asking today. So AfriForum is urgently applying to restrain a joint constitutional review committee to submit a report to a National Assembly and National Council of Provinces to debate on it and to either adopt it or not adopt it. So in a whole argument, so that's an urgent application today. That's one part of the application. The second part of the application is to actually take on review the lawful process of what happened during a joint constitutional review committee. And in a nutshell, what AfriForum and a bigger review wants to challenge is to say the report was constitutionally invalid because the joint constitutional review committee I asked outside service provider to consider written submissions and to make a summary. And in that process, they excluded written submissions because they considered written submissions to be duplicates. So AfriForum's argument is they didn't meaningfully engage the Joint Constitutional Review Committee themselves with written submissions, and they delegated it unlawfully. So today only, they want to prohibit, because they say, they want to prohibit that report being released to National Assembly, because they say you have to deal with the legislative or the process, public participation process at this stage first. So it's going to be a very interesting court case today. Remember, it's an urgent application, so they need to prove urgency. They need to prove criteria for interim interdict. It's not an easy case. They will need to show irreparable harm, and that is basically what the court will be considering today. And in today's application, so they're not only asking it to be halted, that recommendation report, they're also asking for the court to direct the Constitutional Review Committee's chairperson to provide access to those written submissions which have been excluded. Now, it's a very interesting argument today because Parliament is saying, while it is an interim phase, there's no finality in it. It's only a recommendation report. It now has to be sent to National Assembly, National Council of Provinces, who have to consider, well, if we're going to adopt it, and then only it will be sent to a committee to actually draft a bill, and we'll see in which manner the Constitution will be amended. Okay. So they're saying it's premature.
Yeah, so Parliament is saying it's premature, sorry, Christine, but it's also saying, from what I've heard, that this matter actually should not be sitting at a lower court like the Western Cape High Court. It's within, according to Parliament, the exclusive jurisdiction of the Constitutional Court and should be struck off the roll with cause. Does Parliament have a case? Should AfriForum have gone straight to the Con Court?
Well, it's one of the technical points I've raised, is because it challenges, AfriForum has said, well, my constitutional right to participate in Parliament in terms of the Constitution has been infringed. And they say this process, and because you're challenging a constitutional right and Parliament's process in that regard, it should have gone to a constitutional court. There is an argument for it to be made. It should be at High Court level as well, and that is one of the technical points which the court has to decide today. I don't think it's wise to give a prediction. It is a valid point being raised, but I do think it's only one of the technical points. So Parliament's strategy was, in this regard, we raising first technical points on it and then only going into the merits of and defending it, saying it's not an urgent, they haven't been able to prove urgency, they haven't been able to prove an interim interdict should be granted. So it will be very interesting to see that point, but I do think there's an argument for it to be made that the High Court does have jurisdiction.
Okay, now if they do have jurisdiction, we cannot predict the outcome, you say, because, you know, there's two parts to this. AfriForum wants the current process to be halted so that there's no debate in the National Assembly and until it has been given access to those hundreds of thousands of written submissions, which it feels that we're not taking into account about this. Should we expect this to be a long, drawn-out court process, or do you think it could be shorter? It could be short, rather.
Okay, then I think we need to there's one point I need to raise. It's not hundreds of thousands, it's specifically 180,000 submissions, which in terms of the service provider's report, it was considered as duplicates. Now, AfriForum's case is on what basis? Was it now counted as yes or no, or was it just, how did you decide it was a duplicate as that submission?
Okay.
And it doesn't mean a joint constitutional review committee. So it's basically, it doesn't necessarily mean it would be a long process. They're just asking for that, it will definitely be a delay, but they're asking for it to be reconsidered. And so it's not, I don't think it would be a long delay, but it's definitely an argument being made as well.
Okay, Christine, thank you very much. That's Christine Botha from the Centre for Constitutional Rights.